What's Miles from Black Film and TV? Hello, guys. How's it going?
Hi, Wilson.
You guys are continue to work, in various places, film and stage and TV. But how great is it to feel that you can talk about a show you guys did 20 years ago, never knowing it would be this far that we can still talk about it today?
It's a real honor. It's a real honor. You always hope to do something that's impactful, to mark your passing on the road, just like you write it on a tree, as August Wilson says. I always think of that. We were here. We said something of great importance, and that is still impactful. That's what you pray for and you hope for, that you leave something that actually makes people think and has some sort of impact. So it's a real honor.
I said to somebody I was going to be talking to you guys today, and then I mentioned Dominic's name. He goes, I said, he was in 300. Nah, McNulty. I was like, okay. They don't even remember your character name in 300. They were like, nah, McNulty. That's all we know. Say, knowing that you could turn on the TV and it's airing on and stuff like that, So for you, who's currently in a movie right now, but how good is it to know that some of the projects you've done can still be talked about, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and so forth?
Well, The Wire is pretty unique in my career from that point of view. There's not many days go by, even now, and it's been the last 20 years, where someone doesn't come up and say something about how much they love the show, or how their children are now watching it, or how who their favorite characters are, and it's meant a lot to a lot of people. And I was saying earlier, it's the gift that keeps giving, and there's no other thing I've been in that's been like that. And it's what's sort of beautiful, and I think it's true of most things in my life, or anyone's life, is that it happened to me in spite of myself. It happened by accident, and through no fault of my own. I was involved in something truly important and truly classic, and that has lasted.
Do you think it can be done today? Obviously, the scenario is probably still the same, the way things are run in the streets, but knowing that we have now a gazillion channels, and so everybody's attention is here, there, and everywhere else, could this show be done today and still get the audience? Wendell?
I think that this particular show, it would be difficult, I think. It may not get the audience. We didn't get the audience then. It was by the fact that the belief that I have is that, something of quality ultimately people find. I think the show could be done today, and there's room for a show like it to be innovative, to come up with a change. There's always going to be that. And that show will happen. And like The Wire, it's going to be under the radar, and people are going to miss it. And then all of a sudden, our eyes will be open when more people share it. I think of Frank's Place, for instance, a show, 2 seasons, but now it still resonates. I'm from New Orleans, so it's about New Orleans, and so that's the one that comes to mind. So there are shows that will always be like The Wire, that are innovative, change your perspective, and then ultimately people will find it and make it iconic.
I remember, being on a basketball court, and every game would end at 9:50 because people needed 10 minutes to get home. They were like, oh, because just in case you're stuck on the elevator, or the elevator's taking slow to get upstairs. And I was saying to somebody, back then, you didn't have encore performances right after. You had to wait, you got to wait till Wednesday, but you don't want to be part of, then that means you can't talk about it on Monday, and so forth. Right. And so that's what The Wire meant. People wanted to come out and talk and have their favorite quote and so forth. For each of you, before I let you guys go, what's their favorite scene do you remember from any of the seasons?
Dominic?
I can't remember. I do remember. Obviously, I remember the fuck scene, and I remember my scene with Bodie. I can't remember what the hell we said, but I think it was just before Bodie was shot, and I remember we were sitting, was it in a graveyard or something, and I that's all I remember, except that it was an extraordinary experience, and it was the sort of. But I mean, there were so many. The writing was so good, and the actors were so good. There was so many, and I obviously my favorite scenes were with Wendell because they were the easiest. Because he's the easiest guy to act with because he's the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the end of the day,
Dominic's the best. I just want to quickly say, you know, I couldn't let that question go without saying the great scene that I did with Michael. You know, I looked like it's so prophetic because that's what I get to hold on to and cherish, you know, a memory of, you know, when we created that. I also remember a time when we had a real federal agent visit us on the set, speaking to what you were saying before, Wilson, who said that they had a wire up and running. And every once in a while, they would get this on Sundays. Motherfucker, didn't I tell you don't call me on Sundays? I'm looking at the wire. Right? He said, it's still in the middle of the case, but I wish I could have brought it because it would go silent, right? The guy was always on his phone and then it would go silent. And then one time, and they couldn't figure out why it would go silent on Sundays. And then this one time he got a call and he said, motherfucker, didn't I tell you? Don't you ever call me? I'm looking at the wire.
That's how TV was. That's how, no DVR, no TiVo. You either had to watch it right there. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Keep doing your thing. You obviously continue to work. Wendell, can't wait to see you on stage.
Thank you very much.